जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनरंजन। 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 यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय जय गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की समवेत भक्त वृंद की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय इत्यादिष्ट स्वगुरुणा इत्यादिष्टः स्वगुरुणा भगवान् नीललोहितः भगवान् नीललोहितः सत्त्वाकृति स्वभावेन सत्त्वाकृति स्वभावेन ससर्जात्मसमाप्रजः ससर्जात्मसमाप्रजः इत्यादिष्टः स्वगुरुणा भगवान् नीललोहितः सत्त्वाकृति स्वभावेन ससर्जात्मसमाप्रजः इत्यादिष्ट स्वगुरुणा भगवान् नीललोहितः सत्त्वाकृति स्वभावेन ससर्जात्मसमाप्रजा Mataji. Iti, thus, Adishtaha, being ordered, Swaguruna, by his own spiritual master, Bhagavan, the most powerful, Neela Lohita, Rudra, whose color is mixed blue and red, Sattva, power, Akriti, bodily features, Swabhavena, and with a very furious mode of nature, Sasarja, created, Atma Samaha, like his own prototype, Prajaha, generations. Translation: the most powerful Rudra, whose bodily color was blue mixed with red, created many offsprings exactly resembling him in features,
strength and furious nature. Text number 16. Rudranam rudrasushtanam samantad grasatam jagat nishamya sankhasho yuthan prajapatirashankata. Translation. The sons and grandsons generated by Rudra were unlimited in number, and when they assembled together, they attempted to devour the entire universe. When Brahma, the father of the living entities, saw this, he became afraid of the situation. Purport. The generations of Rudra, the incarnation of anger, were so dangerous to the maintenance of universal affairs that even Brahma, the father of the living entities, became afraid of them. The so called devotees or followers of Rudra are also a menace. They are sometimes dangerous even to Rudra himself. Descendants of Rudra sometimes make plans to kill Rudra by the grace of Rudra. That is the nature of his devotees. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So we are going through these very interesting topics. Today we are reading. I thought you are asking. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 12, entitled Creation of the Kumaras and Others. Text number 15 and 16. The most powerful Rudra, whose bodily color was blue mixed with red, created many offsprings exactly resembling him in features, strength, and furious nature. The sons and grandsons generated by Rudra were unlimited in number, and when they assembled together, they attempted to devour the entire universe. When Brahma, the father of living beings, saw this, he became afraid of the situation. So I'm very grateful for all of you to come here in the morning time. Thank you for sparing your time and giving your association to all of us. at Shri Radha Gopinath Mandir. Today is Sunday. It's a Sunday feast program, traditionally going on since the time of Srila Prabhupada. Very grateful to the management of the temple for giving me this chance to purify myself by speaking on these verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. They are not easy to speak on. Yesterday, Shubhavilas Prabhu very expertly narrated the whole incidents and various qualities of Lord Shiva, various places where Lord Shiva resides, different wives of Lord Shiva, Rudra. And now today we will take it further. So yesterday Shubhavilas Prabhu was saying that when a guru empowers somebody, he gives him some designation, a place to work, resources and instructions, and expects that the outcome will be wonderful. However, Lord Shiva, he was so eager to serve his guru and father that immediately millions upon millions of his followers, typically like Rudra himself, who was anger personified, they came out. And you can imagine the situation. The creator of all the beings, Brahma, is afraid. Somebody to make Brahma afraid is something which is not imaginable. Brahma cannot be afraid of. Brahma is not afraid of even devastation. He actually brings upon devastation every now and then. When he goes to sleep in the daytime after 12 hours of his day, he brings out dissolution of the whole lower planetary systems. He's not worried about that. Many big demons, he's not worried about them. They cannot approach him. However, here it's very clearly stated, Brahma got scared. Brahma got afraid. With the result which was not expected. What was expected? So Brahma was ordered by Lord Vishnu to create living beings, planetary systems, populate them, so that the rebellious living beings, they get reformed. That's the purpose of this world. However, even before this starts, the followers of Rudra are ready to destroy that whole universe, ready to destroy the creator himself. The purpose of this universe is to reform the living beings. Who are these living beings? Lord Shri Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Mamayvamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. They are my part and parcel. So because they are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord who is Satchidananda Vigraha, they also have the same nature of being Satchidananda Vigraha. So they keep on searching for happiness, eternity, knowledge once they come to this world. However, the world is designed in a different way because this is not the place to find those things. So Krishna gives another statement about this world, defines this world as Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. No matter how much you try to make it Sukhalayam and Shashvatam, it's impossible. It will remain what it is. Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. So how do we come out of this Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam and get to the original nature of being Satchidananda? That Lord Krishna states twice. He instructs the living entities. Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mamnasku. Become my devotee. Offer homage unto me. Worship me. And thus you will come to me. Where? To my eternal abode, from where punarjanmana vidyate. You will not come back. So very clear purpose of this universe, Brahma knew this. And now what is happening? That reformatory cell or whatever, Durga, is about to be getting devoured and destroyed by the aggression of Rudra, whose incarnation personified. And therefore, Lord Brahma is scared. Now, in the future shlokas, you will see what he does because he is scared. So, in this purport, we'll focus today on the purport first, and then we'll go to the fourth part of our discussion, that is how to understand Rudra from a Vaishnava perspective. So, first here, Rudra is mentioned as the incarnation of anger. Rudra, one who makes people cry and one who cries very loudly, very inconsolably. That's what he did as soon as he was born. And therefore, to pacify him, Lord Brahma immediately did many things just to pacify. As Shubhavilas Prabhu was saying yesterday, he is a very powerful, aggressive force. The purpose of this aggressive force is, in some time in future, the world has to be destroyed. That time this force will come in picture. But right now, right in the beginning, it is coming in picture. So, even though this incarnation of anger, Rudra, he is supposed to use that anger in the service of Krishna, it is happening at an untimely occasion. And therefore, Brahma is fearful. So this krodha is untimely, unwanted. So what is a wanted krodha? Srila Prabhupada was giving lecture and one disciple asked a question. Prabhupada, I am chanting for many days, reading Gita. However, I still feel very angry. So I was expecting Prabhupada will answer how to control anger. Prabhupada simply said, what's wrong with anger? Because anger has its own place. Anger is required. Anger at the right time can be used in service to Krishna. Hanuman was extremely angry at Ravana and all his demoniac followers for illegally, unlawfully taking away Sita from Lord Ram. And therefore, he used his anger and burnt the whole Lanka, killed many soldiers of Ravana. So anger was used in a better way. Arjun, when he came on the battlefield, he was obviously, the anger was getting built up for 14 years and now he has come. But suddenly, his anger went away and something else happened. He became confused. He saw his grandfather, he saw his guru, his brothers, relatives, mama, and his anger went away. The anger was nowhere there. And Krishna had to actually remind him again and again. Like when he was in front of Karna, the most powerful warrior whom actually Arjuna and the Pandavas fear the most. They are not so much afraid of Bhishma and Drona, but they are most afraid of Karna. And during the Mahabharata war, Karna, because he was cursed by his guru Parshuram, at the right time when he is about to fight the most crucial war of his life, Mother Earth devoured his wheel of the chariot. So he had to come down to pull out the will and again make the chariot run. And Krishna quietly told him, now you kill him. He said, now you kill him. Obviously, Arjun was very rigid in his following of dharma. So he said, how can I kill him? He doesn't have his rath. I am on the rath. I am on the chariot. I cannot kill him. At that time, Krishna starts telling him what all Karna did. How he called Draupadi, the most chaste woman, as Vaishya. How he plotted continually. How is a part of all the plots against the Pandavas. And therefore, at that time, remembering and how Abhimanyu was scared by all these people, when all these remembrances came, then Arjun became extremely angry. He used his anger and cut off the head of Karna. So Arjuna could use his anger. So anger, when it is used in Krishna's service, it's a good anger. When it is used against Krishna's service, it is a bad anger. In fact, the Gita describes there are 3 gates to hell. Trividham narakasyeda dwaram nashanam atmanam kama krodhas tatha lobhas tasmadetat trayam trajet. Krishna is telling Arjun that there are 3 gates to hell. Kama, desire, krodha, anger, and lobha, greed. And all these 3, they have their property as gate to the hells, but they have also the property of being the gates to Vaikuntha. How? The Acharyas tell us in different ways. Sri Narottam Das Thakur, he mentions Kama Krishna Arpane, the lusty desires, the desire to please somebody should be used in surrender to Krishna. Kama Krishna Arpane. Krodha Bhakta Dveshi Jane. One who hates the devotees, harms the devotees. Use your anger against that. And Lobha. Lobha for sadhu satsange. There should be greed to associate with the sadhus and Harikatha. Laulyam, Lobha. If there is greed to associate with the devotees, if there is greed to hear Harikatha, then our spiritual life will be successful. So that is what was expected of Rudra, that he will use his anger in Krishna's service. However, something else has happened. Then another point in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says this creatures who came out of Rudra, they were so powerful that even Brahma got fearful. So Brahma is one of the acharyas. There is a Brahma Sampradaya after. He is one of the first living. He is the first living being. He is the guru of the whole universe. He is a devotee of the Lord. And how do we describe the devotees? Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Bhaja Hure Mana Sri Nandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Devotees, because they take shelter of Krishna, Nandanandan, they become fearless, Abhayacharana. Because Krishna's lotus feet are granting that fearlessness. However, Brahma is fearful here. So this is the healthy fear. Srila Prabhupada, once he was standing in front of the deities and praying. The disciples were curious, what is he praying? So they asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what are you praying? So Prabhupada simply said, I am praying to Krishna to protect me from Maya. He was fearful of Maya. In fact, he would say that the problem with my Western disciples is they are not sufficiently fearful of Maya. Of course, at some other point, he would say, we are not afraid of Maya. So, simultaneously he would say this thing. So, when he says we are not afraid of Maya, he is on the strength of Krishna, Krishna's protection. Daivi esha gunamai mama maya duratteya. Krishna says, this Maya is very, very powerful. She is as powerful as me. She is Daivi. But one who surrenders to me, he will be protected. So there is healthy fear. And Brahma, even though he is the topmost living being, he is not ashamed to be fearful. Sometimes in the position of authority, there is a pseudo sense of fearlessness, or we try to show that we are fearless as leaders. We know what to do. But when things go wrong, one must have a healthy fear of what's going wrong. And because of that healthy fear, because we are healthily fearful, therefore will be fearless. If we take shelter of Krishna, Sri Nandanandan. How do we deal with this anger? So there is an episode of Dhruva Maharaj. So Dhruva Maharaj became the king of the world, and his younger brother, who was still unmarried, Uttam, one day he went to the forest in Himalayas, and while hunting, there was some altercation with one Yaksha, and the Yaksha killed Uttama. So Dhruva Maharaj was a very powerful personality. He was a pure devotee of the Lord. As a duty, as a king and brother, he went to avenge the death of his brother. And then the Yakshas attacked him. There was a huge number of Yakshas were killed by Dhruva Maharaj. In fact, at one time, Dhruva Maharaj became overwhelmed by the tricky, illusory powers of Yakshas. And he couldn't figure out what to do. At that time, the Lord actually sent some sages, go and tell him what to do. So Lord is helping him in his anger. But once that happened, at some point, Dhruva became excessively angry. And now, even those who were fleeing, those Yakshas who were innocent, they were being killed, slaughtered. And immediately, Swayambhuva Manu, who was the great-grandfather, he himself came and told Dhruva, desist from further killing. Excessive anger doesn't befit you. You are a pure devotee. It's not good for you. And then he quotes how anger can lead you to hell. So the same person, till it was healthy, Krishna was helping. Became unhealthy, Krishna stopped it. So like this, we can see that Dhruva Maharaj, he was at the right time, he understood the result is going in the wrong direction through Swayambhuva Manu and brought the situation back in control. So the instructions of Brahma were to populate the world, however something else happened, and therefore the result has to be nullified now. The third point Srila Prabhupada makes here is that the so-called devotees of Lord Shiva are a menace to Shiva himself, Rudra himself. So it doesn't spare them here. Prabhupada is very clear that they can be extremely dangerous And they got boons from Lord Shiva, and they will try to kill Shiva himself. That's the danger. We know the story of Bhasmasura. There was one demon, Bhasmasura. Previously, his name was something else. He prayed to Lord Shiva, did a lot of tapasya. Such severe tapasya that Lord Shiva had to appear. He asked him, "What do you want?" So he said, "Now this is the way demoniac people, they ask boons. Destructive in nature." What did he ask? He said, "Give me the boon that whosoever head I touch, that person should become ashes. He should get burnt. Bhasma." And Lord Shiva, he is actually all the time meditating. He, he is happily meditating on his Lord. He doesn't have much time to think. He said, "Okay, granted. Tathastu." So Bhasmasur immediately tried it out on somebody. He died. And it works. No, sorry, he didn't try it out. Sorry. He didn't try it out. The first thing he wanted to do is to try out on Lord Shiva himself. Because he wanted to now take position of Lord Shiva. So he looked at Lord Shiva and started running after him. And Shiva understood that my boon is my curse. And he started running. And this demon is running after him. Ultimately, Lord Shiva had to take shelter of Lord Vishnu. And there are two varieties of the stories. In one in which Lord Vishnu took form of a very beautiful lady, and Bhasmasur got attracted. And this beautiful woman started teaching him dance. So he was dancing like she was doing like this, he would do like this. So various poses. And while dancing, suddenly this woman did like this, like this. So then Bhasmasur also did like this. And he became ashes. That's how he was saved. Lord Shiva was saved. Another interpretation, another type of story is that Lord Vishnu takes form of a very handsome young Brahmana. And he was very charming in his speech and mannerism. So Bhasmasur was running and he said, "Hey, wait, where are you running?" He said, "I'm running to place my hand on Lord Shiva's head." So why? He said, "I got a boon that whosoever head I touch, that person will become ashes." So in a very charming way, this Brahmana said, "Do you really believe this? Do you really believe this? Lord Shiva keeps on giving these boons. If you want to see, just touch your own head." And immediately touches his own head and becomes ashes. There was another demon whose name was Banasura. He had, by Shiva's grace, achieved 1,000 arms. And he became extremely powerful. But he was still devoted to Lord Shiva. So once Lord Shiva was dancing in Tandava Nritya, Nataraja. So he's dancing. So to accompany him with his 1,000 hands, he was beating the drums very melodiously. And Lord Shiva was very happy. He said, "Ask me a boon." So he said, "Please be my protector. Make sure that no enemies hurt me." Tathastu. But now, with Shiva to protect and with 1,000 powerful arms, this Banasur, who was the son of Bali Maharaj, he became so powerful, but he didn't know how to use this power. So he kept on challenging people. So as soon as people would look at him, they would say, we surrender. So he went to Lord Shiva and asked him, my Lord, you have given me this boon, this power. I don't know how to utilize this power. There is no enemy who can match me. So Lord Shiva understood that his boon had become a curse for his disciple. So he said, oh foolish demon, very soon there will be somebody who will cut all your arms and cut your pride to pieces. Of course, he knew Lord Krishna will come and do this. And Banasur was extremely happy. Extremely happy with somebody will destroy my power. Prabhupada writes that this is the nature of demoniac people. They don't understand how to utilize power. So they just want to utilize for sense gratification, and then when they can't do anything, they want to either destroy themselves or destroy the world. So Banasur, he had a daughter named Usha, very beautiful daughter. And she dreamt about Aniruddha, Krishna's grandson. It's a long story, I'm going to cut it short. And through her friend Chitralekha, she understood that he is in Dwarka. Chitralekha went through the airways. He was sleeping on the bedstead. He was brought as he is. And Aniruddha woke up in the palace of Usha. As soon as he woke up, Usha introduced herself. She made all beautiful arrangements to please Aniruddha. And Aniruddha was very pleased. Many days and months passed, and Aniruddha did not even know how days passed because he was enjoying the company of Usha. And Usha was very well guarded. The palace was so guarded that no male member could enter there. Banasur had done that. When the guards saw that looks like she is enjoying the company of a man, which is impossible. So they got afraid and went and informed Banasur. So Banasur rushed to the place, and in the palace he sees that Usha and Aniruddha are sitting on one bed. They are smilingly talking to each other. And Aniruddha was wearing beautiful garland, flower garland, which was offered by Usha. And Banasur could see that the kumkuma which was spread on the breasts of Usha was stuck there. So he understood. She has embraced him. He became extremely angry. Aniruddha saw and understood that my father-in-law is not very happy. So Aniruddha took a position. He picked up a rod, iron rod, and stood there very firmly, like a lion. So Banasur told all the soldiers, attack him, capture him. But the soldiers were no match for Aniruddha. He was as powerful as his father Pradyumna and his grandfather Krishna. And Aniruddha escaped. However, Banasur knew the art of Nagapash, so he captured him by Nagapash. Now here in Dwarka, the whole 4 months, Chaturmas is over. And they are wondering, where is Aniruddha? 4 months have gone and Aniruddha is not to be seen. In the meantime, Narad Muni came and informed them that he is in the palace of Banasur. And how Banasur unlawfully, trickily captured Aniruddha, even though he was victorious. So immediately all the Yadus, headed by Krishna and Balaram, Satyaki, Samba, Pradyumna, everyone, all the soldiers, 18 Akshavanis, they all attacked Banasur's capital, Sonitapur. And in Sonitapur, when Krishna blew his conch shell, who was on the opposite side? Because Banasur had a boon. So Lord Shiva himself came on Nandi. His son Kartikeya came on peacock. And Ganapati came on the rat. So all of them are there. And all the Ganas, the Pretas, Bhutas, Pishachas, everyone is there to assist Banasur. And Banasur had a commander-in-chief called as Kubanda. So all this fight is going on. And Lord Krishna, he is fighting with Lord Shiva himself. And Lord Shiva, he is sending all the astras. But Krishna very easily drove those astras away. And ultimately at some point of time, Krishna just released one yawning weapon. So immediately Lord Shiva becomes extremely tired. Starts yawning. He wanted to sleep quickly. So went away. And then Pradyumna went away. Kartikeya went away because Pradyumna injured him so much that he was bleeding profusely. So like this, everyone went away. And then Banasura understood, oh, now my commanders, including Lord Shiva, are not there. So he came. It's a long story, beautiful story. And Banasura tried to attack with all his 1,000 arms. And Krishna, he cut off all his 1,000 arms except 2. In fact, it's a long story, but in the first episode when Banasura comes, he was getting defeated. So suddenly, there was another deity, Kotara Devi, Banasura used to worship. She came to protect Banasura, and she came completely naked in front of Krishna. So Krishna did like this. He didn't want to see it. Taking that chance, Banasura fled away. And then Lord Shiva, he released, by the time Lord Shiva came back, he released his Shiva Jwara. And with Shiva Jwara, Krishna released his Narayan Jwara, which is cold, and Shiva Jwara is hot. And Shiva Jwara himself, personified Shiva Jwara, became so afraid of his life that he went and took shelter of Shiva. Please protect me. And Shiva said, I cannot protect you. So ultimately he had to go to Narayan, and Narayan gave him protection. So these are the kind of devotees that Lord Shiva has, that because of them, he has to fight his own worshipable Lord, Krishna. If you have 15-20 minutes, no? So then, now we move on to understanding who is Rudra from Vaishnava perspective, from our side. Obviously, we cannot understand him. He is a Mahajana. There are 12 Mahajans in the Bhagavad philosophy. Srimad Bhagavatam describes them. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumara Kapulu Manu Prahlado Janako Bhishmo Balirvaya Sakirvayam. So, Swayambhu means Brahma, Narada, Shambhu. These are all original Mahajans, right in the beginning of creation. And our philosophy, simple philosophy. The devotees are advised by Lord Chaitanya just to follow in the footsteps of Mahajans. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Mathura on his visit to Vrindavan, when he was dancing in the temple of Keshavdev, one old Brahmana came and started dancing with Lord Chaitanya, very gracefully, very pleasingly. And they pleased each other. They encouraged each other. They encouraged the population around them to chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could see that this person has very sweet, loving devotion to Krishna. So he takes him aside and asks, you're an old Brahmin, but I can see. Where did you get this opulence of bhakti from? And he says, One time, Sripad Madhavendra Puri came to Mathura and he took lunch in my house and he accepted me as his disciple. From him, I got this opulence of bhakti. So, bhakti is an opulence. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately prostrated himself in front of the old Brahmana, and Brahmana became afraid. He said, "Hey, what are you doing? You are a sannyasi. I am supposed to offer obeisances." Then Balabhadra Bhattacharya, who was the assistant to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a disciple of Ishwara Puri, who is disciple of Madhavendra Puri. So you are on the level of his guru, therefore he is offering obeisances. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu invited himself to his house. He said, since Madhavendra Puri has taken lunch at your home, I would also like to take. And he was very happy. So this Sanodiya Brahman, he called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his house and then brought very wonderful, costly ingredients of grains, oils, etc., ghee, and gave to Balabhadra Bhattacharya, cook for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, why? You haven't cooked for yourself? I would like to take what you have. The Sanodiya Brahman, he said, no, you should not do this. People will criticize you and I can't tolerate your criticism. You are a sannyasi, you are the topmost of the society. And I am a Sanodiya Brahman. Of course, at that time there was a particular social structure in which sannyasis would not eat at Sanodiya Brahman's house. The Brahmanas also, there were grades. So Sanodiya Brahmans were the Brahmins for Vaishyas. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that time quotes this verse. He says, the scriptural rules, regulations, social norms, all this, there are various rishis, philosophers, they'll always have different opinions about various methodologies. However, the real dharma is established by the Mahajans. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. Extremely confidential. Mahajano ena gata sapanta. So we are supposed to follow in the footsteps of these Mahajans. Rudra. How do we follow? By creating such kind of angry people? How do we follow him? First we need to understand his personality. It is impossible to understand Lord Shiva unless he himself reveals from inside, which has not happened. So I can't explain to you. So therefore we'll take shelter of the Acharyas who have revealed the greatness of Lord Shiva. And one such personality is Lord Brahma himself. So Lord Brahma, he wrote a scripture called as Brahma Samhita, which has 100 chapters. But right now in the world, only 5th chapter is available, which was discovered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his South India tour in Adikeshava temple. So in this 5th chapter, Lord Brahma says about Lord Shiva like this. Kshiram dadi vikara vishesha yoga sanjayate nahi tatha prutagasti hetoho yah shambhutam api tatha samupaiti karyad govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Just as milk is transformed into curd by the action of acid, but yet the effect curd is neither same as nor different from its cause, namely the milk. So I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, of whom the state of Shambhu is a transformation for the performance of the work of destruction. In 1932, first time Brahma Samhita was printed with purports by His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. So what is Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada saying about this particular shloka? He says that this verse is very clear that he is the same as the Supreme Lord, yet different from the Lord. So therefore he says discrimination between Govinda and Lord Shiva is an offense. If somebody thinks that Lord Shiva is different than Lord Krishna, Lord Govinda, it's an offense. Yet, the supremacy of Shambhu is subservient to that of Govinda. Then further he says, Shambhu manifests Rudra. From Shambhu comes Rudra. He is not a Jiva. Lord Brahma is a Jiva. Jiva Tattva. So there is Vishnu Tattva, there is a Shiva Tattva, and there is a Jiva Tattva. So he is not a Jiva but the Lord of Jivas. But yet partakes the nature of a separated portion of Govinda. So he is separated. He is not Vishnu Tattva. So that is how we can understand that Lord Shiva is not a Jivatma. So he should not be confused with, in fact, when Lord Nityananda, who is Balaram himself, went to South India, he visited the town of Kanchipuram. And there in Kanchipuram, even in today's day, there are two sections of Kanchipuram. One is called as the Vishnu Kanchi, another is called as Shiva Kanchi. And the Brahmanas and worshippers, they are always fighting with each other. Who is supreme? This is the mystery of the Vedic philosophy. You cannot understand by theoretical or intellectual understanding. So Lord Nityananda was laughing. He laughed. He said, what kind of nonsense you are doing? They are same. Vishnu and Shiva is same. Why are you separating them? He has his own Mahesha Dham, which is not a Devi Dham. All Jivas, they reside in Devi Dham. There is another shloka which Brahma sings. Goloka namni nija dhamni talecha tasya Devi Mahesha Haridham suteshu teshu. That there is Haridham, Vaikuntha. Below that there is Mahesh Dham, that is Kailash. And below that is Devi Dham, Durga, the abode of Durga. So this is his identity as far as his tattva goes. Then there is second identity which he has, that this same Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is now taking on the qualities of the mode of ignorance, tamoguna, and therefore separated from Krishna, but as powerful as Krishna, he takes a role of a demigod. So this is another tattva. So he is not the demigod. He is a special demigod, who is Supreme Lord taking role of a demigod. So as demigod, what is his duty? To fulfill the desires of his devotees. And what kind of devotees? That we just saw. Bhasmasur, Banasur, those kind of devotees. And because of this role confusion, he has to face a lot of difficulties. But through those difficulties, still, he is known as the greatest of the Vaishnavas. This is his third identity. So Srimad Bhagavatam describes about Lord Shiva like this. Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 13th chapter and 16th shloka. Nimnaganam yatha ganga devanam achyuto yatha Vaishnavanam yatha shambhu purananam idam tatha. Just as Ganga is the greatest of all rivers, Lord Achyuta, the supreme amongst deities, and Lord Shiva, the greatest of all Vaishnavas. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is the greatest of all Puranas. So Lord Shiva, why he's called as greatest Vaishnava, we'll try to understand now. And this greatest Vaishnava and all the other Mahajans, they worship gopis. So what is the kind of greatness gopis have? What degree of superlative love, purity they have? So Lord Shiva, he actually heads a full sampradaya. There are 4 Vaishnava sampradayas. One starting from Brahma, we call it Brahma Sampradaya, in which we come, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. There is the Kumara Sampradaya, starting from the 4 Kumaras. There is Sri Sampradaya, started from Lakshmi, in which Ramanujacharya comes. And there is Rudra Sampradaya, which is starting from Rudra. And Vishnu Swami is one of the main acharyas there. So, one of the comments by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, very, very deep comment about Lord Shiva. He says, what kind of work Lord Shiva has to do? And he does it so expertly and so peacefully, without complete humility. So, somebody is like, he has his own dharma, nature. All of us have our natures. And to give up that nature is extremely difficult. Give up dharma is extremely difficult. Yudhishthir Maharaj was told by Krishna, you tell a lie that Ashwatthama died. He couldn't just do it. He couldn't accept it. He said, how can I tell a lie? I am Dharmaraj. I have never spoken a lie. But then, with a higher understanding, he accepted to tell the lie in a very quiet way. And that's a big story again. It's not easy. So Lord Shiva, first of all, is a Vaishnava. He loves his Lord dearly. He's all the time hankering to be in the association of the Lord. However, he's sometimes given duties to perform where he has to act against the Lord. And one such very, very difficult duty he did, which Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati comments here. He says, in obedience to the will of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, Shambhu maintains and fosters the principles of pure devotion by preaching the cult of illusionism Mayavad and the speculative Agama Shastras. So how? Lord Shiva is supposed to be heading a sampradaya which completely smashes any ideas of Mayavad. What is Mayavad? That you and the Supreme Lord are same. You are that. Tattvam Asi. Very popular idea. An egoistic, illusion conditioned living entity, when he starts thinking of spiritual life, if he starts speculating, this is a very popular idea. Oh wow, I can become God. Wonderful. So you can see there are millions and millions of followers. But it is completely against the pure philosophy of Bhagavad Dharma. It is completely against the reality. The reality is Jivera Swarup Krishna Nityadas. Mamaivamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So the reality is very clear. But this Lord Shiva does on the order of Lord Krishna himself. So there is a verse from Padma Purana which says, Mayavadam asat shastram prachannam baudham uchyate mayyeva vihitam devi kalo brahmana murtina. In Kali Yuga, I will come as a Brahmana, Shankaracharya, and preach a covered philosophy which is exactly like Buddhism. Buddhism is atheism. Exactly like Buddhism, but it appears to be Vedic. Buddhism rejects Vedas. So this kind of action is not expected from Vaishnava Acharya, but he does it. Why? Because it is ordered by his own Lord. Of course, Shankaracharya, at the end of his life, he told very clearly to everyone, all his followers, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam Mudhamate. O fools, please chant the holy names of Krishna, Govinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram. So in this way, Lord Shiva, he is doing tasks which are extremely difficult to perform, which are against his nature, and still he does in order to please his own beloved Lord. That is why he is one of the Mahajans. Gopis, why are they Mahajans? Gopis, why Mahajans worship Gopis? Because Gopis gave up their dharma of chastity. To serve Krishna, to please Krishna, they even gave up their chastity. They had their husbands at home. But they came in the dark night in the forest, and danced with Krishna in the Rasa Leela. So Rasa Leela is actually not a mundane affair of boys and girls dancing sensuously. It is an affair, completely spiritual affair, for which the gopis had to give up their dharma of this world. Similarly, Lord Shiva, he is tested many times, Lord Shri Krishna himself, by giving such kind of orders. And the greatness of Lord Shiva, of course, he has so many, he's a mine of big, wonderful qualities. And maybe someday we can hear from Shivaram Prabhu, the qualities of Lord Shiva. He must have given definitely lectures on this. Amazing qualities of Lord Shiva. But for us, we'll look at some of the qualities. One of the qualities is his humility. He is Mahadeva. He is the greatest of the gods. Amongst devatas, he is the greatest. No one is greater than him except Krishna. Yet, he gets completely humiliated by Krishna. In the Samudra Manthan, when Mohini Murti came to snatch away the nectar from the demons, there was a lot of talk about it. The beauty of Mohini Murti was so captivating that the demons did everything against their own nature. And it is all after warning. Mohini Murti told them, see, you are trusting a woman. Our nature is very chanchal. Can you still trust? We completely trust you. So they trusted Mohini Murti. And in front of them she said, see, you are big heroes. You can be patient. These demigods, they are poor creatures. Lalchi log hai. I'll give them nectar first and then afterwards you enjoy the nectar. And the demigods started taking nectar and immediately became very powerful. They understood that Mohini Murti cheated. And she cheated royally. She completely cheated them, took away the whole. She did not give one drop to the demons. And Lord Shiva heard this story. He said, wow, my Lord is so amazing. Now, Lord Shiva is not some ordinary person. When Kamadev comes to excite him, he just opens his eyes and burns him to ashes. That is his power. He is not under the influence of Kamadev. So he told the Lord Vishnu that I would also like to see Mohini Murti, that form. And Krishna warned him. He said, why you want to test such thing? Don't get into this thing. He said, no, I insist. I want to see. So within a short time, Lord Shiva saw a very beautiful young girl playing with a ball. She was Mohini Murti. And Lord Shiva completely forgot that Uma was next to him. Parvati was next to him. Started running after her and chasing her. And this Mohini Murti was very clever. She took Lord Shiva to all the hermitages, ashrams, many assemblies of the great rishis who are all discussing about Vairagya of Lord Shiva. So they are all discussing how Lord Shiva is so Vairagi that even Parvati sits on his lap, he can speak on Vairagya. So that kind of, and he's actually like that. So they are discussing of Lord Shiva and they see there is one young woman running and Lord Shiva is running after. And ultimately, Lord Shiva realizes what mistake he did. He wanted to test the power of his own Lord. But he was not ashamed. He just smilingly accepted, resumed his duty as it is. He didn't think that, how can me, Lord Shiva, get attracted? No. He had who will not get attracted to the Lord? When he takes the form of Mohini Murti, no one can withstand that kind of power of beauty. So Lord Shiva, he is sometimes in such a precarious situation. And how humble he is, how sincere he is. He is all the time longing to associate with Lord Krishna. So he comes to Vrindavan to meet the gopis. Can I see Rasalila? Can I enter the Rasalila? And gopis said, oh, your Lord Shiva, serpents are hanging around you. How can you come? No, it's not allowed. So they say, okay, maybe if you become a gopi like us, maybe we'll try. So then, on Radharani's instructions, gopis, they tell him to take bath in one lake called as Manasarovar, which is on the opposite bank of Yamuna, opposite to Vrindavan. And there, Lord Shiva takes bath. Now this Manasarovar is is pure love of Srimati Radharani for Krishna. In separation, she cried tears of love, and that filled the lake that is called as Manasarovar. When he came out, he had a form of a gopi, but still the snakes were around him. He was a female form, gopi form. So then he was brought in front of Radha and Krishna, and they said, Krishna told him, you cannot enter with snakes. You be the guard for our, you can see as a guard of this whole Rasalila. And that's how there is Gopeshwar Mahadev in Vrindavan. It is said that unless you take blessings of Gopeshwar Mahadev, you will not be able to enter the mood of Vrindavan. So this is his mood all the time, that he wants to be with the Lord. Yet he has to do sometimes wrong activities. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu he took sannyas and then his mother told him to go to Nilachal instead of Vrindavan. So he is traveling to Jagannath Puri with 4 associates, Nityanand Prabhu, Damodar Pandit, Jagdananda Pandit and Mukunda. So they are all coming. On the way, many tolls are coming, people are stopping him. And Mahaprabhu, he was so much saturated with love of God as a devotee, constantly crying, chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. The toll collecting people, they would immediately tell Gosai, you can go. No toll for you. So at one toll naka, the tax collector, he said, he saw 5 people coming. So he said, are they with you? And Mahaprabhu said, I have no one. He was in his mood of sannyas. I have no one. I am alone. I belong to no one. No one belongs to me. Like that he says that he walks away. So he says, okay, you go. I'll collect taxes from this. So Nityananda Prabhu, others, they tried to explain, we are with him. He said, you are not with him. But somehow they convince and they move forward. And then gradually he comes to the town of Bhuvaneshwara. Now, many times again we have that superficial understanding of God and demigods. So we are Vaishnavas, so we don't worship demigods. But actually, if you see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he visited all types of temples. He visited the Meenakshi temple in Madurai. He visited many Shiva temples. So he visited the Lingaraj temple in Bhuvaneshwara. And there, while describing how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing very happily with tears in his eyes, glorifying Lord Shiva. In fact, there is another book called as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Charita Mahakavya by Murari Gupta, in which it is stated Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sang his own Shivashtakam. There is another one Shivashtakam by Shankaracharya, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had his own Shivashtakam. He sang and danced in front of Lingaraj. And there, Srila Vrindavandas Thakur tells the story how Lingaraj came there. And that's where we will end today. So this story is given in the Skanda Purana. That after this killing of Paundraka, who was the imitating Vasudeva. People want to imitate Krishna. So he had done plastic surgery with 4 hands. He had 4 hands. So and he used a crown with a peacock feather and he challenged Krishna that give up your Sudarshan. I am the owner of Sudarshan. I am the real Vasudeva. And Krishna, of course it's a long story again, but Krishna said, okay, I am coming to give you Sudarshan Chakra. I am coming to give you Sudarshan Chakra. So he understood what it means. So he went out of the Kashiraja's kingdom where he was staying. And Krishna very easily, Krishna actually, it is said that when he saw Pandrak, he was amused. He was really amused. Oh, he looks like me. Imitation Krishna. And then he said, now take this Sudarshan. So then Sudarshan cut off the head of Paundraka. And then his friend Kashiraj came out, he cut off his head also. Then Kashiraj, the next Kashiraj, that is his son, Sudakshina. So he became very upset with Krishna that my father was killed. So Sudakshina approached Lord Shiva, who was residing right in the city of Varanasi or Kashi. So he approached Lord Shiva, please give me a boon or the ways to avenge the death of my father. So Lord Shiva, again they were his devotees, so he gave him, okay, you do this yajna, a tantric yajna, and a demon called as Dakshinagni will come out. I will also support him. He will be able to kill. Krishna, he knows who's Krishna. He has just, now previous to this Paundrak episode, the Banasura episode has just happened. And Lord Shiva, he is telling, you go and attack Dwarka to this Dakshina. So naturally the Tantric Yajna was successful and this Dakshinagni demon, fiery demon came out and he went to Dwarka and started burning the fields and the palaces and the Goshalas and people, there was all chaos. They went to Lord Krishna and said, Krishna, Krishna, what is happening? This demon is burning everything. So Krishna simply smiled and told his Sudarshan, go and take care of him. Right? Krishna did not even move. So Sudarshan came. Now this is a fiery demon. He was fire personified. But Sudarshan was so powerful. He was also fire personified. But his fire was Krishna's fire. So he burned this fiery demon, to ashes. And then went to Kashi. Burnt whole Kashi. And then went after Lord Shiva. Now Sudarshan is going after Shiva. Just like in the case of Ambarish Maharaj, Durvasa Muni, he had offended Ambarish. So here, Lord Shiva was the advisor to Kashiraj. So then when Sudarshan is chasing him, and Lord Shiva is fleeing, ultimately understood, I have no other shelter but Krishna. So he went to Krishna, took shelter of him. He said, please forgive me. I have done many wrongs with you. And this is all because of you. Because you have given me this role of a Mahadev who is supposed to fulfill the desires of his devotees. You have given me this Tamoguna, which manifests as anger, Rudra. What can I do? I want to be always with you. But you have given me this. So please forgive me. And then Krishna forgives him. And he says, Lord Shiva says, now I don't want to do all this nonsense. I want to be always with you so that I am safe. So then Krishna tells that I have my own abode. The Shankha Kshetra, Jagannath Puri. In the 10 yojanas, you can reside. You reside in the place called as Ekamravan. There is one big mango tree, and that one is called as Ekamravan. Under that mango tree, you do your tapasya, and I will send you my Mahaprasad every day. So till this day, Bhuvaneshwara gets Krishna's Mahaprasad every day. That is Lingaraj. And in this way, Lord Shiva, he shows us what kind of Vaishnava he is. What kind of austerity of doing things which are completely against his own will, but for the sake of his duty as Mahadev, he has to do. He is the one who teaches us the two principles very wonderfully. One is how to worship Vaishnavas and other things related to Krishna. So he is instructing his wife. And through his wife, he is instructing all of us. He says, in Padma Puran, this is a beautiful verse. Aradhananam sarvesham Vishnur aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadiyanam samarchanam. Hey Devi, amongst worship, the worship of Vishnu is the topmost. But more important than that, or better than that, is the worship of Tadiya, the things belonging to Vishnu. What are those? His clothes, his paraphernalia, his dham, his scriptures, his devotees, the Vaishnavas. So, therefore, we worship Vaishnavas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is about worshipping the Vaishnavas. And then, at the end of Vishnu Sahasranam, you will hear this. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane. When Parvati says, who will recite these 6,000 names? Who will memorize them? Say, don't worry. There is Ramanam. Just take the holy name of Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. These 16 names, each one of them is equivalent to 1000 names of Vishnu. So actually, when you chant one mantra, technically you are chanting 16,000 names of Vishnu. That's how Lord Shiva is so important in our lives as a Vaishnava. So we saw that he has these three roles. He is the yogurt or milk converted into yogurt. That's one first Brahma says that he is in charge of Tamoguna. Therefore, he has his own Shiva Tattva. As demigod, the Lord who gives benedictions to his devotees is Mahadev. And third, for all of us, is Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, the greatest of all Vaishnavas. So today we can pray to Lord Shiva that we can get the same surrender which is in his heart to achieve the mercy of Lord Shri Krishna. He does everything. In fact, Lord Krishna has given him places around all the dhams. Every dham has many Mahadevs which are protecting the abodes of Lord Shri Krishna. So we may have that same mood of service to Vaishnavas, service to the holy name, and even if it is very difficult, in just like in case of Lord Shiva, we'll still continue to serve him unconditionally. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll have kirtan now. Dancing now. We'll be having dancing kirtan, and after that there will be prasadam. Hare Krishna.
Namo Vishnupadaya